Welcome to Lesson 30. For this lesson, we'll move to the Fuji International Speedway and try a race. The basics are the same as on the Tsukuba circuit, except this time with more laps. You now have 5 laps to pass a rival car that's 10 seconds ahead of you at the start. The Fuji International Speedway is one of the few high-speed circuits in Japan. The overall speeds you'll be encountering are much higher, so don't get nervous if you don't seem to be catching up. Just keep your head and plan an attack. You will of course need to be considering the best passing points while you're racing. The passing points are the entrance to corner 1, the following complex corner called A, the hairpin and corner B, which you encountered in an earlier lesson. On the final straight you may have the opportunity of overtaking using your opponent's slipstream. In order to pass this lesson you must overtake your opponent and retain your lead for 10 seconds. Best of luck with the lesson. Welcome to Lesson 31. You've raced on the circuits, so now let's try racing in the city on the New York street course. You'll have 3 laps to overtake the rival car, which will start with a 10-second lead. This is a very different challenge to the open circuit, and with the guardrails and barriers you have limited room. Try to take the ideal racing line and put pressure on your opponent. A number of the straights are connected by 90-degree corners, so you'll have to beat your opponent by braking more efficiently at the end of one of the straights. Many people tend to avoid braking and enter the corner at too high a speed, only to collide into the barrier on the exit. Therefore, keep a cool head. Remember, the best braking points for each corner and the best spots for passing will soon become evident. If you attempt to overtake wildly, you're bound to collide with your opponent, so be sure to look for the correct exit point. After overtaking your opponent, you must maintain your lead for 10 seconds in order to pass this lesson. Good luck! Welcome to lesson 32. The rules of the race will change starting with this lesson. The location is once again Tsukuba Circuit. There will be 3 cars ahead of you. See how many you can pass in one lap, with one very strict condition. You are not allowed to make contact. Sounds difficult? Just remember all you've learned in the lesson so far and keep calm. You need to have definite plans in mind for overtaking the opponent cars. For example, which car on which bend, as potential overtaking points are limited. If you fail to overtake, you'll be hard-pressed to recover your time. Once you make the decision to overtake, you must be confident in your approach. At the same time, you need to avoid any contact with your opponents, so as you overtake, watch their movements closely. When you're going for the inside before a bend, it's important to position yourself alongside your opponent whilst braking. If you move to the inside just before the clipping point, before letting your opponent know you're there, you will make contact and be disqualified instantly. First place will give you a gold trophy, second place silver, and third place will result in a bronze. Don't worry, while this seems difficult at first, you'll soon make good progress. Best of luck. Welcome to lesson 33. The rules for this lesson are the same as for lesson 32. This time you're on the Fuji International Speedway again with 3 cars ahead. See how far you can work your way up in one lap. The same tough rule applies this time round. If you make contact, you're out. You'll be driving a racing machine rather than a training car, so the average speed is overwhelmingly faster. This is a high-speed circuit, so take full advantage of it. Be warned that there are more complex corners here than on the Tsukuba circuit. Let the other driver know you're there before you slip into the inside on a pass. If you make contact or another car makes contact with you, you'll be disqualified. Pass all 3 cars for the gold, 2 for the silver and 1 for the bronze. Give it your all right up to the checkered flag. Now, best of luck with the lesson. Welcome to lesson 34. You've now successfully overtaken 3 cars on both the Tsukuba and Fuji international circuits. Now, for the last stage, let's try it on the streets of New York City. Again, you have only 1 lap, and making contact with your opponent's car is out of the question. If you remember, you practiced overtaking on this course in lesson 31. Well, now there are 3 rivals instead of 1, but the basic rules are the same as ever. Keep cool and try your best. This time, since you're in a race car rather than a training car, you'll notice the significantly improved braking performance. As a result, on the corners you can wait a bit longer before you start braking. Check where the new braking points are for each of the corners. The maximum speed on the straights is determined by your exit speed from the previous corner. While cornering, it's tempting to concentrate on the braking, but your speed on the straight will make the difference between victory and failure. So make sure you achieve a high exit speed. This is the perfect time to make use of the line that emphasizes your exit speed as you've practiced several times before. As with your previous race, you'll be judged based on your ranking. First place takes a gold trophy, second place a silver, and third place a bronze. Good luck with the lesson.